Thanks for clicking good webs only straight out of Africa with creepy videos. Yo, let's dive in.
Well, the Mel Gibson-produced movie Sound of Freedom has already grossed more than $40 million at the U.S. box office. That's despite a near total blackout in terms of publicity and mainstream advertising, and of course, despite going head-to-head against one of the most famous franchises in cinematic history in Disney's Indiana Jones. Well, Sound of Freedom's runaway success has revived a topic that was previously considered some QAnon conspiracy theory. It was discredited by the media and, of course, global elites. It was only for the movies. The topic of adrenochrome.
As your attorney, I advise you to take a hit out of the little brown bottle in my shaving kit. You won't need much. Just a tiny taste.
What is this?
That stuff makes pure mescaline seem like ginger beer, man. Adrenochrome.
Adrenochrome?
Some people are just basically rotten. Anyway, the last thing in the world you want to do is go to hotel again.
Shit.
Trace the call, put you straight to your bar.
So the topic of adrenochrome has returned to mainstream discussion. Sound of Freedom star Jim Caviezel has brought it up directly. Now, some people suggest that adrenochrome isn't even real, but in fact that it's a lie. No, it's not. It's very much real. Even if you don't believe the full set of claims about it being harvested from children or being consumed as a lifespan expanding aphrodisiac. Well, Dr. Shiva Aduri has an MIT PhD in biological engineering, and just a few days ago, he produced a massively viral video about what adrenochrome is, how a child's body might be induced to create it, and the reason that it might be desirable for a person to take adrenochrome.
So let me tell you what this is like. To put it simply, you need stress and anxiety to create adrenochrome. If you're going to do this to an animal, be it a child or lab rat, you have to put it under extreme stress and anxiety. And that's what we're talking about. With just stress, you don't get it. You got to have both. So this is what I would call extreme torture. Because if you just have stress, you're not going to get adrenochrome. You have to have the stress and the anxiety. Everyone getting this? Everyone clear on this? So this is the example I like you to do. The lion is chasing the zebra. That's probably when adrenaline is being released. It hasn't got him yet. It's chasing it. But what about when this incident is occurring? This is when you're torturing the animal. You've got it. This is the anxiety. So this will release adrenaline. In my theory, this releases a superoxide, which is the reactive oxygen species. So you need this and this. You need this and this. If you're just chasing it around, you get adrenaline. So if we want to put it in perspective, you need the stress and the anxiety to get this. So you need both of this taking place. They're probably torturing whoever they're doing this to. This is sort of torture. Now, at least in the animal world, they probably do this quickly and get it over with. But if you assume you torture it more, you're going to get more of this species, more of this, more adrenochrome. So prolonged torture, more stress, more anxiety is going to get you this. So what I want to share with you, everyone, is I think I have a basis for understanding adrenochrome synthesis. And it falls in line with what people have been saying. We're torturing these kids. This is the big takeaway that you can say that Dr. Shiva just offered you. An explanation for this.
This is
Dr. Aduri is also mounting an independent campaign for U.S. president. Adrenochrome, fable, conspiracy theory, bullshit, or does this stuff really exist?
Adrenochrome is a chemical. As a MIT-trained PhD, you're not supposed to talk about this kind of stuff, but I was getting lots and lots of emails, when I was exposing Fauci in 2020. There's a thesis that a set of elites have access to this substance. So I was just intrigued from a scientific standpoint, because I think that's what scientists are supposed to do, right? At a high level physiological level, people are being put under torture. And the quote unquote conspiracy theory on this is that at that point, the child or the animal in this case is sacrificed and the blood is drunk from it. And the thesis is that you have this agent called adrenochrome. Adrenochrome is a compound, one of the compounds in blood. I believe you can actually go buy adrenochrome. It's sold as a compound. It's a chemical. I applied the systems biology approach to understand if something undergoes torture, how would that lead to the production of adrenochrome, right? With the approach that we take from a systems perspective, you're not just looking at one piece of information. The goal is to connect the dots. Stress, as we know, the flight or fight response, your adrenaline will kick into gear. It's part of evolution, right? Adrenaline is a molecule which has a very particular structure. So how does that chemical structure, adrenaline, get converted to adrenochrome? You have to have what are called reactive oxygen species. There's a whole range of reactive oxygen species our bodies produce when we're, let's say, in a state of anxiety, which is a little bit different than stress. The point is literally being held on by the animal,
sinking its teeth into its back or taking it down to the ground and grabbing. Yes.
Yeah, if it doesn't know if it's going to get away. And it not only was stressed out, a lot of adrenaline was released, but now it's in a state of anxiety. It's not sure of its future. Uncertainty is a very, very important characteristic of anxiety. And one of the key things of anxiety is that your body will release reactive oxygen species. And superoxide is O2 minus would have to be released. And in fact, it is released. O2 will take the adrenaline molecule, and in that interaction, you will create adrenochrome. I'm sure none of the major scientific publications, even on publishing, most of them will probably never publish it. Unfortunately, to test something like this out, you would have to put a mammal under incredible torture. With cytosol, the technology I created, we don't have to kill animals. It's a very powerful technology which allows us to mathematically model mechanisms of action. The key point is we have a mechanistic pathway that explains the creation of adrenochrome coming from stress, adrenaline, combined with anxiety, where you create, ROS, reactive oxygen species. Massive amounts of research, because a lot of them come to us, are going into what are the nutrients you can take for anti-anxiety. Anxiety is very powerful because it creates all sorts of reactive oxygen species. It creates inflammation. But under the right conditions, that example where the lion is literally drilling its teeth into that zebra is from this basis, at least at a mechanistic basis, would be releasing adrenochrome, You
just mentioned something. You said that it's unlikely that this will ever get published. If you didn't have anything to hide, then I would imagine that you would be talking about this. So why is it that our press and, places like MIT, for example, or our government, or nobody wants to talk about this? Why?
Twitter as a platform still is highly, highly censored about
Oh, yeah, I'm being throttled on Twitter. Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's Elon Musk is not the fighter for free speech. He's part of what I call the swarm, how the few control the many. The goal of that swarm is to perpetuate itself for power, profit, and control. The swarm is an interconnected set of people. It involves Hollywood, involves the investment bankers, involves the Vatican, involves the central banks. They sort of telepathically communicate. Yeah. The goal of those people is to input into the 8 billion people policies, propaganda, false heroes, like including Trump and Robert Kennedy, who was also on Epstein's plane. They're all part of the swarm. Your words don't have to match your deeds. It goes, personal integrity doesn't have to match public integrity, says that. They will go and talk about certain things, but in a very ambiguous way. A, because they have their handlers. B, their goal is to sucker people into acting like they're anti-establishment. But at the end of the day, they actually they're essentially agents of what I call the swarm.
This is just crazy, man. But we had our previous videos.
They print the money, then they loan it to the government, then they charge the government interest, then the government taxes you to pay for it. Wake up, pal.
God, I don't see what the big deal is.
You're right, pal.
Wait a minute. Wait, I am?
Yeah. I forget how effective they are at keeping you ignorant.
Oh, that's okay. Hey, I'm not ignorant.
Do you even know what money is, pal? In the long, long ago, people bartered. They traded things they had for things they wanted. I'll trade you my raspberries for that there pot pie.
I don't want your berries.
Come on, I'll eat these sweet berries.
They're not sweet. They're old, and I don't like berries.
Give me that pot pie! No! As you can see, this modern situation created some problems. Then, one day, a goldsmith walked up and said,
Now, everybody thinks gold is valuable, so why doesn't everybody trade gold for things they need?
The price was set for gold, and now it was very easy to conduct commerce because people could trade gold for all the things they needed.
Armin! Wow, look at all my gold! Hey, stop them! That's my gold!
Damn thieves!
Say there, Pile. I've got a vaulted some guards. I can keep your gold safe for you. For a small fee. Yeah, sure, that'd be awesome.
You see, Pile, this is how the first banks made money.
There you go, Pile. I owe you 100 gold coins.
Okay, great!
Come back anytime and redeem your gold when you want it. It'll be right here
in my vault. Now you're holding the very first paper money pile.
Wow, this is great. It all makes sense.
Oh, that's right, it was good, and everybody started using IOUs because everybody knew the IOU was as good as gold.
Wow, this candy is really a good price. 1 IOU. I'm getting some more for later. Hey, wait a minute, it was just 1 IOU. 10 IOUs for chocolate? You can't just raise prices like that.
Oh, the Candyman can. Oh, the Candyman can.
That was just very educative, man. These animations, they say a lot of knowledge. And in other places here, is this like a leopard, a cheetah, and a jaguar? Which creature is this? Yo, man.
Dude, mate.
Whoa.
Come on, this is silly. I'm not
Just
going to go
annoying
down.
your
I'm not
God.
going to stay there.
Not even removing the fire, man. That's
going to end how you think it's going to end, CEO. Just take me, please. Throw me up.
It can't even
Come on, we're
follow
wasting
the
our
whole way
time.
with you.
This isn't you.
This is just
This
crazy,
isn't
man.
you.
With
This
your
isn't how
first
you
just
behave. This
you look at everything for fast
I am
you.
not what you eat. I'm not your diet. Okay? You know this. No, don't. Stop it. Stop trying to swallow me. This is pathetic.
Whoa.
This is fucking atrocious. Just, you are wasting my life. You're wasting your life. You're wasting all of our lives. Okay? Anyone watching this?
Whoa.
This is your life being
Can you
wasted.
imagine the
'cause I'm
skin
not
went
being
down the trap?
digested. I'm not
I know it's
being
not even
digested,
completely
mate.
dead, man. Shit.
Dude, serious, fuck. Just regurgitate me. Regurgitate me. It smells like shit down here. Do you know how stinky your guts are? Are you aware of that? You're not, are you? Fuck, how did I end up in this position?
Whoa.
Whoa, it is dark now. It is dark in here. This is ludicrous.
There's totally nothing
Are
to
you gonna
waste.
shit me out? Is that your plan?
Yeah.
Your plan?
Just
You
break
planning
that
to
whole
shit
thing
me
up,
out?
man.
That's what we're doing. Fuck me, Dad.
Didn't
Fucking
mind
hell.
doing it. I
cannot
had
fucking believe that I'm in this position.
had some
I never knew
waiting
this would have happened to me when I woke up this morning. I never
some
thought,
waiting particles in the
this is
rest
the
of
way my
what
day
it
will
really
go.
produce.
Ah.
Crazy and just flew like there's nothing. Yeah, crazy, man. Kinda good. Oh shit! Where do ghosts always hide on in the
You were right.
at the frog? Who's running on water? This is just crazy shit. Is this magic movie or what? Oh my god.
On the surface of the water.
Whoa!
And before you write
Is that a magician news or what? Shit!
shallow part of the river, please watch closely.
Sure, is this really moving or is this some movie stuff?
Let's watch that again. The horse crosses in front of the
Oh my god.
and the boat, which has a motor.
How is this even possible?
As if nothing is under
Is it possible? I can't know.
what? is
Whoa.
over here. Everyone's the one.
Yeah, what do you think about that news, man? A magician or something? Skinwalker. What's happening here? Oh my god. That is just losing. Soda. They use soda and what? Tissue paper? Or what's that? Well, like a napkin, a tissue paper. You dip it in the soda. This is a hoax, man. This is a hoax. Hoax. Guys, join the membership platform kindly for more creepy videos. Soon even we shall be trying out these hacks that you like watching. Some of them are lies, man. This guy will probably waste his whole day trying this. Hit the like button and join the membership platform kindly. Share love from wherever you are.